What's up, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video on Let's Selectors. Today it's the 3 p.m. kickoff live watch along special. We've already made it to episode number 8. I don't know why this cupboard's not closing. I'll tell you why, because it's a mess. But anyway, we've got a 3 p.m. live watch along here. We've got a bag full of games for the Premier League and from the Championship. Still just getting some things organised. Can't do much about that. Jack, absolute legend you are. Thank you so much for dropping a dono on us, and thank you for continued support. It really is massively appreciated, especially as of right now, because statistically not been done very well this week, and I do think it's slowly ebbing away my chances to potentially keep this on more sustainable. But you guys have just been able to keep me running with this and to still provide for support, and I truly do appreciate it. As I'm doing that, I am just going to update the ticker. You can't see it at the moment, but it's because I do need to update it to this week. And I was going to say, Jack, how did you feel with Birmingham winning yesterday? A 2-0 victory. I got to say, Birmingham not playing a team that will be in the bottom 3. I'll tell you that for right now. 2-0, and Ruddy saving that penalty too. God, he's proving to be a really good purchase in the end. 2-0, and it's not easy to beat QPR considering they're near the top of the table right now. Got other results that have happened today. Bristol City and Swansea drew 1-1. And then probably the big standout, West Brom 0, Sheffield United 2. Back to winning ways are Sheffield United. Not like a really poor start for Carlos Corberán as the new not Huddersfield, I used to saying Huddersfield for him, the new West Brom manager. And eyes will definitely be on him to see if he can turn this around. It's not proving to be a good atmosphere at the Hawthorns at the moment. He's got to do a lot to try and overturn this. Right, so for the Premier League today, just to list what's happening for 3 o'clocks, we have got we've got 5. We've got 5 Premier League games for the 3 p.m s. Brighton, Chelsea, Bournemouth, Spurs, Newcastle, Villa, Brentford, Wolves, and Crystal Palace, Southampton, all 3 p.m. kickoffs, which is interesting. So let me just type all of them in at the moment, because you're currently not seeing anything ticking, but that's because I'm still trying to catch up, and I can't do things alphabetically apparently. Oh my gosh, yeah, I really cannot do things alphabetically whatsoever. But as I'm doing this, let me know of your guys' reaction to the current games of this weekend. I will be very interested to hear what you have to say. Jack says, good save from Ruddy, and especially the penalty. Could have had a few more, but it would do. I think that feels like the best way. You know, Birmingham are simply just finding a way at this moment, and they're doing so in a consistent manner, which makes me even more excited for the Birmingham supporters. They're finding ways, and honestly, right now, who knows what they could actually achieve this season. It feels to a lot of us creators that we've predicted Birmingham wrong, that we've been a bit pessimistic about their chances. But what they've shown here is that they are more than capable now of having consistent results, and it tells me that if they have an injury-free squad, they are really good. I think that's what a lot of people were worried about, and it tells me that I think the transfers they've made have actually lifted them up a level. So if I do a video, which I've actually not done a video about reacting to transfers, that just goes to show how little I've been involved with the extra content this year. I think Birmingham, based just on the impact of those signings, they would be right up there for having one of the best windows. Getting Mabry, Chong in, and of course Ruddy, as we've just talked about there, they are really great players. So for the championship, we were talking about 5 games for the Premier League. For the championship, the remaining 9 matches are all going to be 3 p.m. kickoffs. So we've got a lot actually to cover today. So I'm just currently typing all of the games that we've got coming up. So to remind you, for the Premier League, we've got Brighton, Chelsea, Brentford, Wolves. We've also got Bournemouth, Spurs, Newcastle, Aston Villa, and Crystal Palace, Southampton. And for the championship, I'm just trying to do it alphabetically order because I'm being very particular. So Burnley, Reading is the first one. Then we've got Cardiff. They are at home to Rotherham. Now this game, I didn't talk about it in my video, but I still remember the last time they played against each other in the Cardiff City Stadium. Of course, that was the very game that relegated Rotherham. A very, very big moment, because obviously we were talking about one of the best final days ever, with Derby completely turning their turnaround against Sheffield Wednesday. But then also we had the very tense game between these two sides, and it was Rotherham who took the lead. I remember it well, a Lewis Wing shot, and believe it was Marlon Pack with the equaliser, but I could be wrong with that. Normally I get them a little bit confused from each player, but it was an incredible set of events. The whole thing, Rotherham losing ground, and then it gave Derby an open opportunity to seal the deal, and they scored that penalty from Waghorn. It was a very, very big day. I remember it like it was yesterday. It was a really, really incredible moment. It really was. Right, so following from Burnley, Reading, Cardiff, Rotherham, the next game after that is Coventry versus Blackpool, which I see as a pretty important game between these two sides, honestly. So Coventry managed to pick up a draw in midweek against Rotherham by 2 goals each. Probably a deserved result, I would dare argue. I think both sides had their good spells, but I definitely think moving forward, I would have felt that Coventry would have felt a bit of regret for not getting something. But considering the situation they were in, to get that equaliser, and as late as it was, they would probably have felt quite satisfied getting that there. And then the other ones, we have got Huddersfield, Millwall. I am quite concerned for Huddersfield as of this moment of time. And they're facing a Millwall side. I don't typically do well in their away form, but Millwall are on absolute fire right now. 4 wins in a row. And I don't really see anything else but a Millwall win. I think I finally updated the... Yes, I think I finally updated the ticker. So I've managed to drag it out as much as I could. Right. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. This is what we got. So the results: Liverpool 0, Man City 1, Birmingham 2, QPR 0, Bristol City 1, Swansea 1, West Brom 0, Sheffield United 2. For the Premier League, we have got Bournemouth Spurs, Brentford Wolves, Brighton Chelsea, Crystal Palace versus Southampton, Newcastle versus Aston Villa. And then for the Championship, you've got Burnley versus Reading, Cardiff versus Rotherham, Coventry versus Blackpool, Huddersfield versus Millwall, Hull versus Blackburn, intriguing match that one. Luton, Sunderland, also a good game. Norwich, Stoke, Alex Neil returning to his former club. Preston, Middlesbrough, that was a final day game last year. And Wigan versus Watford. We have got 14 top 2 games to go over in terms of the 3 p.m. kickoffs. I'll also be reviewing League One at this time as well. But guys, we've got 15 minutes left. I might need to share the stream, to be honest, because I've noticed this. There's not been a lot of attention with my videos quite recently. So let's see if sharing it might make people more aware of what's going on today. But yeah, it's getting a little bit trickier to grow, honestly. But what we'll do, we'll cover... Well, let's preview all the lineups for the Championship, because that's what you guys basically turn up for. Let's see if capture works. It is working rather well today, dare I say. Let's look at Burnley Reading first, with it if we're going by this alphabetical order thing. Burnley's team, you've got Muric, Connor Roberts, Harwood Bellis, Bayer, Matson, Brownhill, Bastion, Goodmanson, Teller, Zawarai, and Jay Rodriguez. That is mostly the same team with a couple of changes. I've got two changes that I can definitely recall. Samuel Bastion didn't start with Brownhill. It was Jack Cork with Brownhill because obviously I watched the midweek game, Norwich and Burnley, of course. That's what I'm looking at, Norwich-Burnley, where Burnley picked up their win. And I believe Connor Roberts didn't start either, actually. It was Bettino that was in right back position there. So, yeah, two changes for Burnley. Reading's team looks like you've got Lumley, McIntyre, Holmes, Mbengu. You've got Yeardum, Hendrick, Lewum, Baba Ratman, Jarriet, Ince, and Mate. That front three, man, could do a bit of job, though. Although Burnley are unbeaten at home, they are really, really good at home. So I think it will be tricky for Reading. Burnley's bench, you've got Peacock Farrell, Egan Riley, Taylor, Bettino, Benson, Barnes, and Desriloglu. Desriloglu and I believe Benson made an appearance on the bench and actually did quite well. For Reading, their bench, they've got Buzanes, Guinness Walker, Forner, Hoylett, Long, Carroll, and Lucas Giles. Yeah, so Lucas Giles not starting. I'm wondering if he's either out of form or if he's picked up an injury. Let's go for the next alphabetical game, Cardiff versus Rotherham. So, for Cardiff, you've got Alsop, Sang, Perry-Ng, Kipre, Nkuku, Rules, Wintle, Andy Rinamotta, Shea Ojo, Mark Harris, and Callum O'Dowda. So I did look at their recent game, of course, against Swansea. No Callum Robinson because he's lost his head and will get a 3-match suspension, or at least a 1-game suspension at least. So Mark Harris will have to start ahead of him there. In terms of other changes, I think Thomas Sang did start actually. It was, I think this is a pretty identical team. For Rotherham, you've got Johansson, Wood, Humphreys, Peltier, Barlaser, Bramall, Wiles, Rathbone, Harding, Georgia Kelly, and Conor Washington. Bramall and Washington being the two scorers for Rotherham against Coventry on Tuesday. Cardiff's bench looks like this. You've got Ulwick, Simpson, Romeo, Sawyers, Villager-Bidace, Etete, and White. Rotherham's bench, you've got Vickers, Cuffy, McCart, Odofin, Lindsay, Scott High, and Tom Eves. Blackpool and Coventry, let's look at their team. So Coventry have gone for Ben Wilson, Doyle, McFadden, Panzo, Kane, Hamer, Sheaf, Bidwell, Callum O'Hare. He's actually making a start. I think that is Callum O'Hare's first start this season. Jamie Allen and Casey Palmer is up front. That is a very peculiar starting 11 from Mark Robbins there. Interesting. For Blackpool, you've got Maxwell, Husband, 490, Akipta, Connolly, Carey, Patino, who's an outright talent, Dougal, CJ Hamilton, Medine, and Jerry Yates. For bench for Coventry, you've got Moore, Rose, Reed, Howley, Burris, Walker, and Gyökeres. So Gyökeres is benched. I wonder if he picked up an injury. For Blackpool, you've got Grimshaw, Williams, Thompson, Ward, Wright, Poveda, and Corbinu. Let's now go to the next team alphabetically, which is Huddersfield. They've got a game against Millwall. They've got Nichols in goal with Turton, Lees, Heelick, Nakayama. A midfield of Kasumu and Jackson. Sorba Thomas, Rudoni, Kamara, and Daniel Ward up front. Millwall's team, you've got Long, who's pretty much been the constant starting goalkeeper now. He's completely overthrown Bilkowski. Malone, Cooper, Cresswell, McNamara, Shackleton, Mitchell, Vogelsammer, Zian Fleming, Callum Stiles, and Tom Bradshaw up front. So Huddersfield, you've got the bench for Bilo Kapik, you've got Boyle, Russell, Ruffles, Holmes, Diarra, and Rhodes. For Millwall, you've got Bilkowski, Saville, Evans, Bennett, Honeyman, Bury, and Bennick Afobe. Now, for Hull Blackburn, let's see what we've got. Jack got the Sheffield Wednesday and West Brom game spot on. I need to check if you did, but if you did, that's a really good prediction on your part. Hull's team, you've got Baxter, Christie, Figueiredo, Jones, Greaves, Seri, Woods, Doherty, Pelkas, Slater and Longman. Blackburn, you've got Kaminsky, of course, Pickering, Wharton, Hyam, Travis, Morton, Wharton, Brent Brereton, Sammy Smaldix, Ty Stonen and Sam Gallagher. So Sam Smaldix is starting the game this time, which is really nice for me. You've got Ingram, Coyle, McLaughlin, Tufan, Cynic, Fleming and Estupinian on the bench. For Blackburn's bench, you've got Pears, Ayala, Carter, Garrett, Dak, Vale and Markende. Next is Luton Sunderland. They've got Horvath, Bree, Lockyer, Potts, Lansbury, Campbell, Clark, Bell, Doughty, Morris and Adebayo as their starting 11. You've then got for Sunderland, Patterson, Chirkin, Bat, O'Nien, Wright, Evans, Dan Neil, Pritchard, Dajaku, Ahmad Diallo and Jack Clark starting up front. Now that is very peculiar as well. Obviously, Sunderland are having some striker problems and they're putting like a winger and Jack Clark up front. Luton, you've got Harry Eisted, Bradley, Freeman, Berry, Roderick Mpanzu, Cornick, Cameron, Jerome. Then for Sunderland, you've got Bass, Embleton, Hume, Mishu, Matete, Roberts and Ellis Sims, who's only at the bench. What next? I don't even know my alphabet. So, it's Norwich Stoke, that's right. So, Norwich versus Stoke, we've got 5 minutes left. We've got Gunn in goal, we've got Byram, Hanley, Gibson, McCallum, Gibbs, Hayden, Dow, Ramsey, Honor Hernandez and Timo Pukki. Now, that is a lot of changes for Norwich. Gunn's kept his place. Hanley's kept his place despite conceding the penalty. Sam McCallum's kept his place. Hayden's kept his place. Dow didn't start. Ramsey didn't start. Ono Hernandez and Pukki. So 6 changes for Norwich. 6 changes. That's insane. Stoke, you've got Biersick, Fox, Wilmot, Jagielka, Clark, Baker, Laurent, Fosu, Will Smallburn, Dwight Gale and Jacob Brown. On the bench, you've got Krul, Tomkinson, who did make that start there. Aaron's also dropping to the bench. Nunez, Cantwell definitely dropping to the bench. Sarah dropping to the bench. Hugill, who didn't actually make an appearance. For Stoke's bench, you've got Bonham, Sparrow, Flint, Thompson, Nick Powell, DiMaggio, Wright-Phillips and Liam Delap. Then you've got Preston, Middlesbrough. That's the next team to go through here. Right, they're going through the other League One and Scottish League teams now, Saturday. Preston, you've got Woodman, Potts, Story, Lindsay, Fernandez, Brown, Whiteman, McCann, Brady, Reece Jeggerson and Ben Woodburn. For Middlesbrough, you've got Steffen, Lenihan, Fry, Smith, Jones, Hackney, Howson, McGree, Ryan Giles, Muniz and Chuba Akpom. Preston's bench looks like this. You've got Cornell, Hughes, Ledson, Cunningham, Johnson, Ched Evans and Sean Maguire. And for Middlesbrough, who of course is Michael Carrick's first game in charge as their new boss. Is he going to have a better start for what Corberan did? Roberts, McNair, Dyche, Moet, Bowler, Force and Hop. Final game to preview for the Championship, Wigan-Watford. Let's quickly see this in with 3 minutes left. Jimmy Jones, Jason Kerr, Watmore, Tilt, Deweekwa, Power, Cousins, Shinnie, McLean, Keane and Broadhead. And for Watford, you've got Batman, Kamara, Trusdekon, Sirialta, Gosling, Chowdhury, Kayembe, Kensemba, João Pedro, Ismail Assar and Yusuf Bayo, who's going to be the main striker. Wigan, on the bench you've got Tickle, Edmonds Green, Bennett, Asgard, Naylor, Scully and Josh McGuinness. And for Watford, you've got Okoye, Gaspar, House, Asprilla, Bashiru, James Morris and Samuel Kalu. So those are all the teams in the Championship preview. I'm going to quickly see what Ipswich and Colchester are also doing. Derby Bristol Rovers, that's a big game. So, yeah, Ipswich are playing Charlton today. Charlton, you've got Wallacott, Egbo, Thomas, O'Connell, Clare, Raksai, Dobson, Fraser, Sessignon, Stockley and Clerk. Now, that's a very strong team for Charlton. Especially their front four of Sakri, Sessignon, Stockley and Chirk. or Kirk. I mean, definitely for a League One team, it's strong. Now for Ipswich, yeah, that makes sense. So Morsey's makes the return, collecting his ban. Ball is actually going to be in the place of Evans there, by the looks of things. John Jules, Jackson, and Chaplin. It's interesting. So despite Ladapo scoring, he's not made a start. I'm a bit surprised about that. I thought Ladapo was going to start, actually. So that is what Ipswich are going with. What about Colchester? And, it looks like one game's already kicked off, which is Northampton and Newport. In fact, it was an early game, and Newport have taken the lead. That's a big result for Newport at this moment of time. Who scored? Omar Bogle. So, second minute, and it lifts Newport up the table. And, yeah, Northampton really struggle, therefore, if they currently lose, because they're on 31 points, and they won't fall anywhere lower down the table, but it'll definitely make sure the teams below them close the gap on them. Right, so I was going to check Colchester, who they've got Stevenage. Oh dear. Stevenage, who are second place in the league against 23rd place Colchester. They're definitely going to have to try and improve on what they have done. So they've got Hornby, who still did one of the best time-wasting jobs I've ever seen when I was at Ipswich. Eastman, Chambers, Dallison, Kazim, Marshall, Scusey, Hannon, Newby, Sears, and Newbill. And for Stevenage there, don't know too many of them. I recognise a couple of them. Danny Rose and Luke Norris I recognise. Roberts as well. Jake Rees can get a good goal contribution as well. So it won't be easy. But Colchester need to try and get out of the bottom two ASAP. And they're going to really run out of chances if they do not capitalise on this. Right, so that's me covering all the teams. Managed to do all of them just before kickoff started, which is the first for me. Elijah, welcome to the stream. He says, happy with the draw against Bristol. Well, that's interesting because I was going to say, I was going to look at stats. And in fact, if you've given me a good thought, actually. Let's look at stats and we'll get a good idea about the two, or let's talk about the three games, actually. So, as you can see for QPR, they had more of the attack momentum, but if you look at these stats, 15 shots to 7, 3 shots to 4, so actually shots on target, very close, but it's clear to me that QPR were wasteful when they did have the chance, which include one of the big chance, which was the penalty spot, which, of course, Ruddy saved Dyke's penalty, but it does look like that, other than that, there was no other big chances, so QPR looking very toothless, but Birmingham sitting back and being well organised and managing to get 2 chances for their goals. Trusty, a brilliant flick on for that goal as well. And Long Yellow as well. Brilliant move by him as well. And Mabry, great strength as well to hold on to the ball the way he did. Bristol City and Swansea. Right, it looks like they're going to do a minute silence because it's Remembrance Day coming up soon. Conway and Nitcham were the goal scorers there. Last post being played. Swansea having a bit more of the attack momentum there. Stats-wise, you see 40 shots to 10. Looking pretty close, actually. Yeah, very close. 11 shots to 7. To 7. 5 shots to 1. Yeah, you probably could see Swansea looking a little bit more wasteful. I mean, actually, 28% for ball. Yeah, Swansea playing a little bit more of the same, but looking like that they just couldn't get enough chances, or like clear-cut chances for them to take. West Brom, Sheffield United, Idai and Oliver McBurney, the only 2 goal scorers of that game. Sheffield United's first win in 7 games as well. So a sigh of relief for Sheffield United, who climbed back up to 4th place. And because Swansea dropped points, they don't overtake Sheffield United too, and they've closed the gap right back on to QPR. Right, so last post has just about ended. And kickoff is about to be started. We just couldn't score today. Yeah, well, that's pretty much what that was. To have 14 shots and for Bristol City to have more shots on target, it shows that they didn't really have their scoring boots on today. So the games are now starting to get underway. We'll stay with this format for now, with the ticking scores. But when we see a goal go in, we'll flip on to SofaScore and we'll try and analyse who gets the goal. But with 2 minutes in, we've not had any goals at the moment. If Bogle scores well on the pitch, says Jack. Where have I put my phone? Because I literally have no idea where I put my phone. I mean, I shouldn't really need to be on my phone, but what I need my phone for is to check that all the predictions have been saved. Oh my gosh, I've literally only just realised. Where have I put it? I swear I literally had it with me. By the way, if you're wondering, I do have the man of the moment. Okay, now we've got to predict first goal. First goal of the game. When do you think we'll get it? What game would it be? I'm going to quickly look at all of the games. I'm going to guess a League One game this time. And I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with Peterborough scoring an early goal against Cambridge for some strange reason. So I'll go for Peterborough. But for terms of the first... Ooh, that was close. So Newcastle looking like they started well against Aston Villa. In terms of the first goal of a championship, I'm going to give it to... Who scored first in the championship out of all these games? I'll go either a Rotherham early lead or maybe one of Hull and Blackburn. I can't make my mind up for which one though. So I don't know. I've picked the two games which I think could have the first goal. It doesn't mean I'm going to be right, however. Still no goals in the top 4 leagues. Ryan Manning and Joel Pirro are back for... Ooh. Looks like Brighton have gone really close to scoring. Got to wake up Chelsea in here. It looks like Brighton have come close twice now to scoring. Where have I put my phone? This is so strange. I mean, looks like defensively Chelsea have been absolutely awful at this start of the game and have gone very, very lucky not to concede a goal. Don't want any of this, Chelsea. You know, you've already given me enough of a heart attack. Please follow this up. Right, I believe we've got a goal, I think, in League 2. Let's just highlight everything. We've got to refresh everything. Right, I've got a couple of goals, actually. Let's go to League 2. That's the way we've got our first goals. Mansfield have taken the lead against Swindon. Kellen George scores. Oh. It's Brighton scored. Yes, of course. What can I say? I mean, they sound like they've deserved this lead. We've not reacted at all, and Brighton have been up for it. And it... that's why I didn't predict Chelsea to win. I predicted a draw. Because I think that they'll really react, Brighton. They'll be very motivated to beat their former boss. So yeah, Kellen George scores there. As I was upset in that moment, Carlisle scored. Christian Dennis against Tranmere makes it 1-0. And Colchester take the lead again. Do they take the lead? I don't know if they do. But red card for Sutton against Stockport. Omar Bougiel, not Omar Bogle, but Omar Bougiel, gets a red card in the 3rd minute of the game. That's 87 minutes plus for Sutton to play with 10 men. Right, it should be 1-0 Colchester. I don't know why it's not updated yet, but we will find out soon who has scored. And if it is 1-0, it definitely puts Colchester out of the bottom 3, which is a really, really big result for them. Don't think we've got a single goal in the Championship. Brighton scoring first in the Premier League. Trossard scores. Yep, 5th minute. I mean, they warned us. They warned us plenty of times that they were getting close to scoring, and Chelsea did not react. And if we lose this game, it puts Chelsea down in 5th, which I honestly think right now might just be where we're at, to be honest. You know, whilst we're still getting results, it's just we're not consistent enough, and that is a big problem. Goal in League One, a huge goal in League One, because it's, you know, a bit of a good bit of form by Bristol Rovers, but it's Derby who take the first goal. Mendes Lang with the assist, and David McGoldrick getting the goal. So it was actually Derby who scored first in League One. Thought it was going to be Peterborough, but no, it turns out it was Derby County. No goals still in the Championship. For the Premier League, we've only got that one goal. Brighton closed the gap on us as well if they win this too. My days. Can't get any worse than this. It really can't get worse. Have a beer? Well, I would, but I don't actually have any beer. So, run out beer. Chelsea are behind. Can't get any worse. Let's update scores. I mean, there's only one score to update, which is embarrassing in itself. Brighton 1, Chelsea 0. And I'm sorry, but I don't know where I put my phone. Where have I put my phone? I'll be right back because I need it just to make sure the predictions are saved. I swear I literally had it with me. And I must have literally just lost it. Gatsby, have you eaten it? No. But he was sleeping right next to it, to be fair, so I couldn't actually see it very well. Just needed to make sure all the all of the predictions were saved. So take me 2 seconds to do that. Thank you guys for updating me on the video printers. You guys have been a more reliable video printer than Sky Sports, to be honest. All of you guys saying the scores are happening like a good 2-3 minutes before Sky are reporting it. Sky being a bit slow today with their video printer. Right, I was thinking Wellstone have gone behind, but I've completely forgotten who Wellstone were playing against. James Macy's gone Akpom because Middlesbrough scoring the first goal of the Championship 3 p.m. kickoffs. It is Middlesbrough who get the first goal. Honestly, I think it was Ryan Giles with the assist. Akpom, just no one marking Akpom. Getting on Ryan Giles' cross by the sounds of it. 1-0 Middlesbrough. I did say Middlesbrough would win in my predictions. I don't think a lot of people said that Middlesbrough would win, but I don't know. I felt like that they would have had a really good managerial bounce. We've seen an example of a bad response to a new manager with West Brom, but maybe we'll see a good one with Middlesbrough today. They've scored very early, so they've got to try and keep on with this lead. It was a great start. Now then, this is interesting. Huddersfield taking the lead against Millwall. Nakayama scores for Huddersfield. Now, what that means is that West Brom will be rock bottom as it stands. West Brom would be last place in the Championship. Let that sink in. There it is. West Brom, last place. Huddersfield on 16. Coventry, if they can get a win, they could overtake Cardiff and get out of the bottom three. Blackpool could also fall into the bottom three if results don't go their way. Wow. So what a great start. So we've had 2 goals now in the Championship. Only one for the Premier League, which of course was Brighton. For League One, I think we only had the 1 goal actually. Has Barnsley Forest Green kicked off? They have. It just hasn't updated. There's the goal coming through from League One. We had a couple from League Two coming through. So, equalising goal for Swindon against Mansfield. John Williams managing to score literally 6 minutes later after that. So, 1-1 now in that game. And Grimsby have taken it. Sorry, I was just listening to what Tim Sherwood had to say, but I probably shouldn't listen for him about commentating the game. Grimsby taking the lead against Hartlepool. Not a good moment for Hartlepool too. Houlihan scores for Grimsby. Now what that means, as you can see, Hartlepool 9. But look at that, a 4-point gap from Rochdale, who are just above them there. It really is not looking good if you are a Hartlepool supporter. I would fear for Hartlepool's chances of survival already. And we're already 17 games in. It just doesn't look like that they're going to get a combination of wins coming up soon, to be honest. So, a bit worried about them there. Barrow have also taken the lead against Crewe. Billy Walter scores with Whitfield getting the assist. Barrow, with that goal, puts them back within the top 7, which they've fallen off a bit quite recently because they weren't doing particularly well with their form as of late. As you can see, they've had 3 defeats in a row. But if they get back-to-back wins, it will see them back within the top 7. Second goal at Pride Park. It is 2-0 for Derby against Bristol Rovers. James Collins scores. It's looking like already that it could be a pretty good day for Derby County. They currently, with this 3 points, will put them in 7th place and will not be too far behind Portsmouth, actually. And they'll be looking, especially at Bolton, who are only 4 points ahead of them, having played a game more than Derby. So, top 6, as of always, looking really, really competitive as per usual. Exeter are not playing today because I believe they're playing Plymouth tomorrow, or it's either tomorrow or Monday, but it's going to be a huge game in terms of League One football there. Yep, only 2 goals there. Let's go back to this setup. This Karakira could go quite well or quite bad. It could go either way. Yeah, it does feel like a bit of a gamble, to be honest, with the very little senior managerial experience that Carrick has. But it looks like it's gone for the term of goods at the moment. You know, we can't make conclusions as of yet, though. But it is a brilliant start. Just updating the score. So we had a Huddersfield goal and, of course, a Middlesbrough goal. We got Super Michael Carrick. Yeah, Ron Giles is already excited. That's what we like to see. I like to see some optimism back with Middlesbrough. I really do. Jack is already chanting about West Brom. I really thought West Brom may have a managerial bounce, especially with Sheffield United's bad form against West Brom. Have got quite a few issues. If they've got more than a couple of issues, I think they've got a real confidence rot at the moment. And unfortunately, whilst because I did predict kind of this, I thought they might go and have a good couple of games, but then I'd think they'd struggle. But I keep mentioning Corberán needed a good season and a half to try and turn things around for Huddersfield. He needs a quick reaction now, because West Brom are now bottom of the Championship, and they will stay bottom of the Championship if they are not careful. Oh, please. Well, you would have told by my reaction, it's 2 for Brighton. This could be embarrassing here. It's a known goal. I am still not wearing these now. I can't be bothered now. Gateshead have left again. I can't even speak now. I don't even know what to say. Gateshead have taken the lead against Solihull Moors. Ben Cocker with an own goal. Ironically, Chelsea have really cocked up their chances at the moment of staying in the top 4. 2-0 down to Brighton, and it really could be worse than what it already is. It won't tell me who got the own goal, but that's what I've been told. It's an own goal, and right now, bearing in mind how angry the fan base is in general for Chelsea, they will be people going after Potter after this. So I've already put the Brighton goal, actually. I was actually very quick to put them there. I thought I didn't put them down, but I did. Great. I am watching Soccer Saturday, actually. That's how I'm keeping up to date. Yusuf Gaming, welcome to the stream. Right, so finally a break. 2-0 down that quickly. I've not seen that from Chelsea in a long time. I can't remember the last time they've gone 2-0 down this quickly. Probably since the 6-0 thrashing of Man City, I don't think I've remembered Chelsea going 2-0 down this quickly. And that makes me very nervous, honestly. And what will make it even worse is that we will have other teams letting me down as well. So, let's say, for instance, from the National League South. Well, at least I've got one team managing to deliver the goods as of now, and that is Chelmsford. They're 2-0 up back in their game against Eastbourne. They had a very disappointing defeat in midweek against Tonbridge, but they've already responded in their following game and are currently winning in their game at the moment. But what I really would like, honestly, is having a Waterlooville to potentially lose a game. I know it's hard for them, But if they lose a game, that will be quite nice for Chelmsford there. They're currently drawing in their game. And Dartford, I don't really want them to keep winning because they're annoying me now. But they are playing against bottom of the league Weymouth. So maybe I should expect them to potentially get something there. Chelsea have got to play against Bath next, which we've got a pretty split record against Bath, honestly. And then Ebbsfleet, if they lose a game, that would be very nice because they're looking quite unstoppable right now. They've not lost a single game. Honestly, at this point, to catch up with Ebbsfleet, you just got to hope that they just draw enough games. And for the National League, only a couple of goals. Dagenham and Redbridge 1-0 up. Harry Phipps, what a name, for a goal. And I talked about Gateshead's goal with Ben Cocker's own goal. Any other games taking place? Okay, Maidstone 1-0 down against Yeovil. That's just happened. That really literally has just happened. I've caught it live, but unfortunately not been able to find out who scored. Anything in League 2? Nothing new there. We knew about all of this. Well, this is definitely new. Stevenage have now just equalised. Danny Rose, who I said is quite good, has got the goal. Roberts makes it 1-1, and that puts Colchester back in the bottom two. I'll tell you what, if Hartlepool can get a result, it really does put things a bit bad onto Colchester, honestly. Leyton Orient against Salford, that's quite a big game. Paul Smythe taking the first goal in that game, and that puts Leyton Orient back on top, since Stevenage are not beating Colchester at the moment, but in fact Leyton Orient would have been top anyway had they won. And League 1, I'm just trying to take my mind off Chelsea losing 2-0. Barnsley taking the lead against Forest Green. Their form has been dreadful, Barnsley, recently, but looking like they might try and turn it around today. Devante Cole with the goal, Joe Williams with the assist. Peterborough did score quite quickly against Cambridge, though. It was Lloyd Jones with an own goal. So they scored one of the first, but not the very first, Peterborough, sadly, for my prediction's sake. We have got another goal. It was a Loftus-Cheek own goal, by the way, which fans are going to be on his back then, because Loftus-Cheek is one of the most polarising players. Another goal in the Championship. It's gone to another away team, and it's Blackburn Rovers. And I'm pleased to say that I think Sammy Smodics is still my gaffer team. So that's a good amount of points on my part. Andy Wharton with the assist. I predicted 3-2 to Hull in this game. So I've definitely got a good start in terms of getting an early amount of goals. Hoping to see maybe Hull turn it around. Maybe hoping for Blackburn to still potentially push forward. But it started off with Blackburn winning. Now that means Blackburn will be joint on points with Burnley, having played the same amount of games. If Burnley lose and Blackburn win, Blackburn return to the top of the Championship. But Burnley will need to lose their first home game of the season. Yusuf supports Hull City. Well, it's not a great start for Hull City to concede to Sammy Smodics, but I have backed Hull in my predictions. Something tells me that they're going through a small turnaround of form at the moment. Macy hopes Carrick can do well in Borough. I wouldn't be disappointed if he just got used to the team this season and just pushed that season. Yeah, I feel like the expectations just got to lower a little bit following their really poor start to the season. And I think that might help him. You know, a bit similar to Cooper coming in. You know, expectations were quite large at the start. Then they lowered with their poor start. And then ultimately, as soon as they didn't have those pressures and expectations, now the expectations ramped up. And they managed to do just about enough to get them over the line. I think that's what they sometimes got to do. Pleased for Smodics for the goal, but I'm still quite annoyed that Chelsea are not looking like that they're going to get back into this. It's probably going to be a long day for a Chelsea fan, honestly. Let's go to catcher, because there has been a couple of other goals, thanks to you guys who've been more effective than my the actual video printer. Morecambe have taken the lead against bottom of the league. Morecambe, as you can see. Don't know what that noise was. Something happened. I don't know who scored, but there has been a goal there at Adams Park. And the other goal I saw was Stockport. I mean, it doesn't surprise me because they're going to be having a man advantage for practically the whole game. and a big goal at Vitality. So Chelsea are losing, but so are Spurs now. Bournemouth take the lead against Spurs. That means Spurs will only be 2 points ahead of us, and we've got a game in hand over them as well. That would be 3 defeats in a row for Spurs if it carries on like this. Who predicted a Bournemouth win? I would like to know. I can't recall many, if any at all, predicting a Bournemouth win, honestly. But if it stays like this, and that's a huge result, the only thing I'll be a bit disappointed with is that Newcastle will then extend their lead of us, although we do have a game in hand still. But Chelsea shouldn't really be in the position that we're being put ourselves there. This is a big opportunity, and the fact that we're not taking it right now is not great. It's frustrating, really. So those are all 3 goals in the Championship so far. There's been no other new goals. Aberdeen taking the lead against Rangers. Rangers are under a lot of pressure right now. Aberdeen 1-0. Yep, I did see this. You're logging off. You're watching the match, says Coniston. Well, thank you for turning up, Coniston, anyway. Thank you so much for spending your time here. Carrick at the wheel, says Ryan Giles. Kiefer Moore was the one who scored for Bournemouth there, and the video printer's definitely lagging a bit. It's really trying to catch up with everything. Right, got quite a load of goals going through, actually. Let's just update the ticker. Bournemouth have got a goal now. Any Championship ones? No, I think I've updated all the Championship ones. 2 League One goals, which definitely kept my attention now. Derby looking like they're going to really enjoy today. They're 3-0 up now. McGoldrick again with that Mendes-Lang combination. And one of the big goals I've saw, Sheffield Wednesday leading Burton. Barry Bannon with the goal for Sheffield Wednesday. What does that do to the table? It puts Sheffield Wednesday on 34 points, and it closes the gap on Ipswich by 3 points. Ipswich, of course, as I said, got Charlton to play today. If Ipswich get a win, they will momentarily be top of the table. But a draw for Ipswich will give Plymouth a chance to regain a 4-point gap at the top. So it's a very important game for Ipswich, actually, to get something against Charlton here. But they're not quite doing it at the moment. There has been a goal against a top 6 team, Oxford, taking the lead against Bolton. So this is not good news for Bolton Wanderers, because will they drop down the table? They will have the same points and goal difference as Portsmouth, but because Portsmouth will overtake Bolton, so it puts Bolton in a very sticky position, because Derby, who are winning, will be 3 points behind Bolton, and Bolton have played a game more. So it does make things quite nervy for Bolton if they are going to lose this game, especially with Derby winning the way that they are right now. Barnsley just about keeping on Derby's tail there. Charlton, the fact that they're not winning, they're losing out a bit. But if they do beat Ipswich, they will be the team just below the top 6. So there is a good motivation for Charlton to try and get something against this Ipswich Town side today. Any other goals in the Championship? By just quickly observing, no, that's the answer there. Only 3 goals. We've got 2 for Brighton there and 1 for Bournemouth. I don't think many people would have predicted that there. Yellow card to Hayden Hackney. Oxford on 1-0 up. Yes, just covered that there. Devarjan Anderson was the goal scorer. So I did see the goal, but I didn't see who scored it. It was Devarjan Anderson. I hope I said that right. Apologies if I did not. It really does not make things helpful for Burton losing in that way, though, because they are 5 points behind Accrington Stanley, who occupy the non-relegation zone place. It does make things a little bit scary, and especially a bit scary for Accrington, because Accrington have been relatively safe, but they are struggling. I was saying that Portsmouth would overtake Bolton as it stands. They won't anymore, because Shrewsbury have now scored. Elliot Bennett scoring in the 26th minute against Portsmouth at Fratton Park. Now, what that means here is that they will be only 2 points ahead of Derby County, but with the same amount of games being played. And based on the form that I'm currently seeing, Derby may relish this, because I think Derby's form is looking a little bit stronger right now. So a little bit of movement going around the top 6 at the moment. The only game that's not affected anything within the top 6 yet, ironically, is this Charlton and Ipswich game as of now. If I see stats, I mean, 1 shot on target, 3 shots there. Yeah, it's looking very typical. Ipswich just not taking their chances. Anything else in League 2 that I may have missed? I don't think I've missed a single thing. I think I've actually been way on top of these scores today. I'll blame the fact that there's not been too many goals, but regardless, there have been some really big goals. But right now, I'm just really concerned knowing that Chelsea are now 2-0 down and they just don't look like that they're getting back into it. Gonna have to try and embrace the banter this weekend. A lot of people will be definitely talking about this. Chelmsford still 2-0 up. Can Dartford concede, please, against Weymouth? That would be very, very nice if they do. Chess Hunt. Oh, come on, I'm rooting for you. Get something against Havant and Waterloo. That'd be really, really nice. And Ebbs Fleet, I can't see them. Oh, there they are, against Hemel Hempstead. Okay, so both Havant and Waterloo and Ebbs Fleet have got away games. One of you do what bloody Tonbridge did to us in midweek. Make it tricky for them. Dartford are winning now, which is not great for Chelmsford realistically there. Another League One goal. Sheffield Wednesday have now extended their lead by 2-0 from a Michael Smith penalty. It does look like Sheffield Wednesday will be at least 3rd place in the table. It's now going to be all eyes on Ipswich to see if they can extend their gap from Sheffield Wednesday, or if Sheffield Wednesday are going to close the gap on them even more if Ipswich somehow lose today. A lot of away goals in the Championship especially. Only 1 home goal, which has come to Huddersfield. Seb, yeah, I do know about 2-0 Brighton. How many likes? I've not actually checked, to be honest. I'm quite annoyed. Well, 21 likes, and I think a lot of that may have been from Jack contributing. But guys, thank you so much for liking the stream, by the way. It really does help grow the channel when you like, subscribe, and share. And donate as well. That's the pinned comment. And Jack, thank you so much for doing that at the start as well. I really appreciate it. In case you're wondering about subs, we're on 1,519. We've been plateauing a little bit. We've been dropping, then up, then dropping, then up in around that 1,519 to 1,520 level. We've not been able to consistently grow, if that makes sense. So it's been a pretty tough week for the channel, to be honest. But regardless, I've got to say thank you guys for turning up today. It's always amazing to see you guys comment, like, share, subscribe, all those things. It really is brilliant for the channel, it really is. Is there anything I need to update in the ticker? I don't think I need to. Yep, there is a goal for Notts County. 1-0 up against Torquay. Connor Rawlinson with the opening goal for Notts County. And as it stands, they do increase their lead against Wrexham. Rangers with a pretty swift equaliser against Aberdeen. Antonio Kolak with the equalising goal. If you're wondering, there is a cat with me today. No, but... Oh, Gatsby, don't go. Don't go. Where are you going? This way. Come on, go this way. Why are you going far away? What are you doing? Come on, say hello. Say hello. There we go, that's not too bad. Really? You did that on purpose? Come on now. Got an itchy bit? You going off or are you just going to sleep? You're going to sleep there. Alright, there we go. He's officially involved. There he is. That's the only attention he's going to get today. As I was dealing with that, there has been an equalising goal at Fratton Park. Let's get away from the subs. We don't need to see it. Oh, well, we did actually increase the sub. Thank you guys so much. I do appreciate it. I really, really do. As we're going through that, Portsmouth have indeed equalised. Zach Swanson manages to make it 1-1. Maybe it's Swanson rather than Swansong, but I prefer to call it that. Dale with the assist. Now, that makes things interesting again because it means Portsmouth once again overtake Bolton. So I was just checking a couple of things there. Yeah, 1-1, and right now, that makes things intriguing. You know, it puts that game on the bit of a knife set because Shrewsbury's doing all right with their form. Although, well, I said doing all right. They've had back-to-back defeats, although they were very unlucky, actually. I mean, only 1-0 defeat to Charlton and 2-1 against Plymouth, where they were 1-0 up as well. So, Shrewsbury are proving to be a pretty decent team. Right, something's happened here with Wycombe Morecambe. We already knew it was 1-0, unless it's turning to 2-0 now. No other goals. I've not got my headset on. I can't bear to hear these pundits trying to dissect Brighton, just hailing them like they're Barcelona as they cut Chelsea apart. Take my bitterness aside. Mansfield have scored against Swindon. Will Swan makes it 2-1 to Mansfield. So Mansfield regain their lead and it puts them in the top 4, closing the gap a bit on Northampton, only 1 point behind with a game in hand as well. So that third place is looking pretty competitive right now. It's looking like Stevenage and Leyton Orient kind of running away with it almost a little bit. And Stevenage will definitely be running away with it if they can somehow get a win against Colchester, because they're only drawing at the moment in that game there. Hartlepool need to find a result here. If they're going to lose 1-0 at home to a newly promoted team, they are going to be in really big trouble this season, Hartlepool. No other goals in the Championship, none in the Premier League. I mean, I've got to say the top 2 leagues have been a bit slow with their goals. There's actually been a lot of games going on with the top 2 leagues, but a little bit slow on the goal fronts, to be honest. I was expecting it to be a little bit quicker than what it was. League One's not disappointed, as it never really does, and League Two as well. Just subscribe for the cat, says Richard Brown. Well, Gatsby, you are an utter legend, and just for you, you can see him again. He's all asleep. He's curled up like a hedgehog a little bit. Oh, yawn at my face. All right. There he is. He's actually come a bit closer. That's actually probably the closest he's ever been to the camera, to be honest. I only remembered to post predictions at 2, so missed out on the first 3, but hopefully you've just gained a bit from them. Oh, that's absolutely fine. You know, I've forgotten a couple of times as well when I've tried to post on Ben's stuff. It's no problem at all. Small comeback might be on for Bristol Rovers because they've now got a consolation goal. 3-1 might be a bit of a crucial goal for them just before half-time. In fact, they may have another chance to potentially try and get more than just that one goal. What else has happened? I don't think anything else has happened. I think that's literally been the next goal that will pop through. No other goals in the Championship. And definitely no other goals in the Premier League. JD Dyer is going through some Doctor Who sort of style there with the big bold scarf going on there. He's commentating Norwich and Stoke. Yeah, that game's going to be a bit peculiar. If we just look at the stats of that particular game. Norwich with only 2 shots. What's going on for Norwich here? 4 shots on target. Well, an equalising goal for Preston. We will go through that right now. The first cracks of Michael Carrick era being exposed. I think I said 2-0 Middlesbrough rather than 2-1, which annoys me a little bit. But let's see who's eventually got the equaliser. We probably will find out very, very soon. Preston scored, yes indeed. A couple of you looking like they have been in the Middlesbrough game at the right on there. How are you? Hang on, am I on capture? Yeah, I am. I'm just waiting for that Preston equaliser, Seb, and then I'll tell you how we're doing with likes and stuff. Chesterfield score against Boreham Wood. It's Emil Reece-Jacobson who scores it. It looks like it's poor defending from a set piece. It looks like big power from Emil Reece from a set piece situation. But I would question if he's been given the time to gain power. Looks like they've not defended Reece-Jacobson very, very well. A lot of goals have just happened. So Bristol Rovers, we know who finally scored for Bristol Rovers, and it was Bobby Thomas, making it 3-1. Then for Notts County, they've increased their lead against Torquay by 2-0. Torquay are bottom of the league, though. So probably shouldn't be too surprised about that, unfortunately, for them. Warniston with that opening goal. And it was Ruben Rodriguez in the penalty spot, making it 2-0. Swindon equalise against Mansfield to make it 2-2. So the second equaliser of the game. John Williams, again, he's really been carrying this Swindon team. And another goal in the National League in the Ray of Wrexham. In fact, there's 2 for Wrexham. Paul Mullin, and just now they've got another goal as well. So it's looking like Wrexham and Notts County will be picking up points again. It is going to literally look like it's going to be a head-to-head battle between them. I mean, look at this flawless run by Notts County there. No wonder they're proving to be a very difficult team to catch up with. Chesterfield looking like they're improving their form a little bit as well, but they have got a bit of a gap to try and close up now. So we've just talked about the equalising goal for Preston. With the other games, there's been no other goals. The Preston goal was a banger, says Ryan Giles. Well, as I said, it looks like it was a sweet strike from Memo Reese, but not great defending really for Middlesbrough's part. Coniston, thank you so much for the dono. Thank you so much. I do truly appreciate that. And to fulfill your promise, Seb, in terms of how many likes we're on, we are on 21. So we've actually not changed them since last time we checked. But 21 is still a really healthy amount. Thank you so much, guys, for the continued support for the channel. In terms of subscribers, we're on 1,520. We actually have gained 1 sub today. So it's been a pretty difficult week for the channel. We've not really grown. We've kind of plateaued. We fell down quite a bit. Then we rose back up and then we fell down a bit. We've now gone back to 1,520, which was pretty much where we were about 1.5 weeks ago. So not much has happened in terms of growth for the channel, but it's not declining consistently as of yet, which is really good. So guys, thank you so much as always for the continued support. It really does help the growth and just me keeping on with this channel. Goal at Sellers Park between Palace and Southampton. I said Southampton will win, and who scores? Of course, it's Crystal Palace. Uston Edward makes it 1-0 to Palace. That could be a good goal for and a good 3 points for Palace here. It'll put them on 16 points, which will close in on the top half of the table. I think there was a championship goal as I was going away, and it's Norwich who score. Well, I was saying what's going on with Norwich, but if they win this, that might be a good response for Norwich and could be a good chance for them to try and regain some form. So if Norwich do pick up 3 points today, they will return into the top. Well, they are in the top 6, but they will overtake Swansea. And yeah, they won't quite overtake Sheffield United. They'll be 1 point behind them. But it's a good recovery for Norwich if they can get 3 points here. It will mean that Swansea are in a little bit of trouble here in terms of staying there. Derby have now made it 4-1 against Bristol Rovers. And it's an incredible day for McGoldrick, who scores a first half hat-trick. What a moment for McGoldrick, who was very quiet for when I've seen him in previous games. But today, we've seen the very best of David McGoldrick, getting 3 goals in the first half against Bristol Rovers. Let's update the scores before I forget. So still 1-0 Spurs. We've had another goal in the Premier League, 1-0 Crystal Palace. Championship, we've had 1-0 Norwich. And Preston have equalised to make it 1-1. And I think that's all we have in terms of updates for the ticker. So guys, you can see ticking down there are the current scores in terms of the Premier League and the Championship. That is over, I can't do the maths, 14 games being shown at once. So you can get quick, up-to-date actions and reactions to reports and goals. So to go through all the scores one by one, even though I don't really want to read one of them. So the results at the moment is Leicester 0, Manchester City 1, Birmingham 2, QPR 0, Bristol City 1, Swansea 1, and West Brom 0, Sheffield United 2. Then for the actual 3 o'clocks, Bournemouth 1-0 up against Spurs, Brentford are 0-0 against Wolves, Brighton are 2-0 up against Chelsea, Crystal Palace are 1-0 up against Southampton, Newcastle are currently drawing 0-0 with Aston Villa. In the Championship, Burnley are drawing 0-0 with Reading. Cardiff are 0-0 with Rotherham. Coventry are drawing 0-0 with Blackpool. Huddersfield are 1-0 up against Millwall. Big result. Hull are 1-0 down to Blackburn. There's a goal in the Championship, by the way. Luton and Sunderland 0-0. Norwich 1, Stoke 0. Preston 1, Middlesbrough 1. and Wigan 0, Watford 0. But the goal that I've just seen, which I'll update right now, and in fact, I want to actually just quickly. There was something I just wanted to quickly change in terms of my presentation. I don't know what's happened there. But basically, one of the goals that's just happened, and it's just appeared on the video printer, is Coventry. They've taken the lead against Blackpool, which I did predict Coventry would win in their game. And it was Casey Palmer with the goal, where I made the very peculiar reaction of, really? When I saw Coventry pursuing with Casey Palmer as their alone striker. But look who assists, returns for the goal, makes his first start this year, Callum O'Hare, or this season at least. Callum O'Hare with the assist, and Casey Palmer makes it 1-0. And that means, look at this for Coventry, 16th place now in the table. So Coventry now 16th place in the table. With 20 points, which is unbelievable. Let's not pretend. It's unbelievable for them there. Cardiff fall down to the bottom three. Blackpool just above, obviously, who Coventry are beating. But if you didn't realise, we're now 3-0 down against Brighton. Not even half time. 2 own goals. And the very scary part about this is that I don't think Chelsea will score today. If it stays 3-0 or even 4-0, I mean, could you imagine if it turns 4-0 to like Brighton or whatever? We're actually going to be bantered like Man United have been. You know what? I'm going to already make a mental note. Get off Twitter. Get off Twitter tonight. It's going to be unbelievably toxic. Goal in League 2. Barrow taking a 2-goal lead. Don't know how I can react. Against Crew, 2-0. Yeah, good result for Barrow there. I'm really trying to pick myself up, you can tell. My God, that is humiliating. Absolutely humiliating. I shouldn't do this to myself, and I'm going to look at stats. So 4 shots on target each. 7 shots to 6. And if we factor that own goals don't count a shot on target for Brighton, they've technically have scored one of their 4 shots on target. Chelsea have not. But the big difference is it's really been from our brain dead defending, really. If we're getting own goals in the way that we are, I need to see how unfortunate they've been. But Chalobah scoring an own goal, it could be a deflection of a cross or a corner or a header. I don't even care. 1 blocked shot there. 0 blocked shots from Brighton. That tells me any shot that Brighton do are finding space to the point that any shot is able to test our goal, whether it's on target or whether it's wide from the goal. So we've defensively not been good enough. 6 corners to 4, 4 fouls to 3. 1 yellow. 1 which was missed for Brighton. None for Chelsea. Brighton have hit the woodwork and we have not. It really could have been worse than this 3-0. 5.8 for Kepa. 5.7 for Chalobah. I can't believe this. I don't really want to watch the match for Match of the Day or whatever. But I feel like I have to, just to see what's going on. You predicted No way did you predict 5-0 Brighton. Why on earth did you predict 5-0 Brighton for this? I thought I was being a bit brave predicting a draw. 3-0 now to Brighton. Any other goals have happened? Did I update Coventry? Yeah, I did. Yeah, I can't believe Barcelona, Juventus, Atletico Madrid are all in Europa League and Chelsea are not. Honestly, right now. That's all I can say about that. There could be a chance that AC Milan could be in the Europa, to be honest. Man, I really am trying to get off my phone as much as I can. I want to hear boos from Chelsea fans. I cannot believe this. Right, we've got... hang on a minute, I'm just dealing with something here. It always does frustrate me when people predict things late and they still include their predictions from earlier ago. I want the Chelsea players to be running at the tunnel. None of them look like they care. Middlesbrough should win 2-1, but they haven't been clinical. Almost 4-0 Brighton. Well, yeah, I've known that. Might be able to allow this one. Oh, it really. It's just I'm not in a good mood now. I needed one thing. Even if Chelsea lose 1-0, I'll be like, right. Oh, okay. Well, this might make things a bit better for me. So a couple of late goals. So all in League One. Wow. Okay, a lot of things happening here. So Bristol Rovers have made it 4-2, which are going to make things very interesting there. Anthony Evans from the penalty spot, 6 goals in that first half. Looking like that they are going to have an incredible second half game. Let's hope so. But the thing that I reacted to was this. Ipswich score just before half time. George Edmondson makes it 1-0 to Ipswich. Leif Davis with the assist, who I criticised quite a fair bit in his last game against Derby. But this will be a huge result for Ipswich because that returns them to the top of League One. It is a big result. Lequan says, hi, how am I? I could feel better, to be honest. You probably won't even need to ask why. Just need to update some scores. So, I've already updated Brighton's. If I don't need to update any scores, I think I've actually all caught up. Top of the league for now. They are top of the league for now. That's a huge goal. George Edmondson as well. Shows new Premier League ball. I have no idea what it looks like, to be honest. I actually have no idea what it looks like. I could search it up eventually. We've got a penalty at St James's Park. I don't know who's got the penalty. It looks like it's a penalty to Newcastle. Late goal in the Championship before the first half ends at Kenilworth Road. And it's Luton Town who've taken the lead against Sunderland. Carlton Morris, with his best goal scoring Championship form, makes it 1-0 to Luton Town. That puts Luton, it will put them 7th place, overtaking Millwall, as Millwall are losing to Huddersfield as it stands. So I'm expecting to see Luton jump up to 7th place here. John Lundstrom scores a late first half goal for Rangers to be 2-1 up against Aberdeen at half time. Waiting for the penalty kick for Newcastle and Aston Villa to be kicked. I think it is a penalty to Newcastle. I've just needed to hear. Yep, it is. Because Martinez has gone off injured. It's just a long build-up. It looks like it is a goal for Newcastle. That's not good. Not good for Chelsea. So that means Newcastle go up to 3rd place in the table, as both Spurs and Chelsea are losing their games. Newcastle are currently 3rd place in the... They're currently 3rd place in the Premier League. Incredible. That's all I can say about that. I did a Colchester career mode. I made you manager promotion for the first season. You're starring Sanchez Garcia. Ah, fair enough. 3-0. Yeah, I know. Don't need to hear it. Be quiet. I'm so frustrated. Because by the stats, it looks like we've given Brighton too many openings. It's not been dominant. It's actually been very close, stats-wise. But goals-wise, disgraceful. Because it feels like Brighton can defend whenever Chelsea attack. But when Brighton attack, it's like we have no clue how to defend. So it's not great. They're just talking about I don't know what's happened there. Why has that happened there? Need to potentially. Can I fix this? No, Colin Henry says he's feeling confident. Why are you thinking? Are you feeling confident that Forest will get something against Arsenal? I know they've been struggling, but you know it's going to be quite a difficult game for them still. I'm just trying to fix what's going on here. That should help. Well, it's good to feel someone's confident. I think just based on the start, I think a lot of people are not going to back them, but it feels strange, really, because I think Forest, cannot be written off just yet, but I do think it's, the longer it goes on for when they don't manage to get some consistent results, the more likely that teams will just feel like that they can walk over them in a way. Yates is looking good. Oh, you went to West Ham versus Silkeborg, and you watched them score the penalty. How did you get to? How can I say this? How did you get to London Stadium? Because I saw a couple of West Ham fans go on the train to Liverpool Street, where you would go to Liverpool Street, I think, or would you go to Stratford? One of those stations. I saw them go on the train from Chelmsford, actually, because they, of course, West Ham were playing in the London Stadium in their late game. But Chelsea fans left the game. If they've left the game, and even though I know it's against Brighton, and I know it's the first half, but if we leave in the first half, that would be a disgrace. Right now, we've clearly got a situation where we can't seem to have some cohesion between fans and management, and if it doesn't get sorted, it'll make things very toxic. Very late goal. Now, late goal, because Newport and Northampton was a very early kickoff. Northampton have scored in the 93rd minute. Oh, something's happened. It's offside. Thought we had another goal at St James's. Yeah. Yeah, Cobbler's late minute equaliser. I was just talking about it. Yeah, Sam Hoskins makes it 1-1 Northampton. Heartbreak for Newport County. But a bit of a sigh of relief for Northampton. Walsall score against Rochdale. Now that's good news for Colchester's part, as they're trying to close the gap on Rochdale. I know, that's what's even more annoying. Forest know how to defend, but Chelsea clearly cannot. We've made Brighton get confidence back with their goal scoring. I need to see how bad it is. I need to see how they were defensive. Right, I actually have not updated Luton, Sunderland. That should say 1-0 Luton Town. Because Luton have indeed scored. Carlton Morris just before the first half ended. I could feel better. Honeygun, how everyone's doing? I could feel better, to be honest, but I'm happy that you guys are here. That's all I'll say. Scott McKenna Henderson, yeah, but it doesn't mean it's going to be necessarily a guaranteed 3 points. I can't believe, Seb, you would ever say 5-0 Brighton. I mean, if I did see your prediction, I clearly didn't pay attention to what you predicted. So it's Callum Wilson who scored the penalty for Newcastle, by the way, and I am going to stay off Twitter today because Chelsea fans will be unbearable about this, and the rival fans are just going to keep bantering us. So I literally got to stay off it now. Is it 2-0 Newcastle? No, we thought we had a second goal, but it was offside. So it should be 1-0 Newcastle still. They've got long stoppage time because of Martinez getting off injured. I can't believe it. Well, the only one that can probably keep me sane is seeing what George would have to say about this later on. I don't know how he's going to keep his head right now. Hopefully Chelsea can get back into it miraculously. They won't. I don't even see us scoring. If we do, it'll be 3-1 or 4-1. I don't see it. I think it's either going to end 4-0, 4-1 or 3-1. I don't know. A little bit of positivity, though, was Chelmsford. They've looking like that they are responding very well to their very poor defeat in midweek against Tunbridge, because they're leading Eastbourne by 2-0. If I can see this. Havant and Waterlooville, can you stop winning? James Roberts scores for Havant and Waterlooville. Dartford still beating Weymouth. Ebbsfleet winning as well. So they're back down to 4th, Chelmsford, at the moment. We just cannot make up any ground. Havant and Waterlooville keep winning. Dartford now can't stop winning. And now Ebbsfleet are just too good for the league, clearly. Braintree, look how close they are as well. 4 wins in a row currently, by the looks of things. Who are they playing? Are Braintree even playing at all today? Yeah, they are. Oh my god, what on earth is that? HRBFC. That's not Hungerford, is it? No, it's Hampton and Richmond. Oh, of course it is. Of course it's Hampton and Richmond Borough. And they are 9th place. Hampton and Richmond, actually. I know that because Chelsea, I think, got a 1-0 win against them quite recently. Yeah, so I would have felt better, but bloody Chest Hunt can't keep a clean sheet against Havant and Waterlooville there. And Hemel Hempstead are not doing Chelmsford a favour by not beating or drawing to Ebbsfleet. And Weymouth are just not turning up this season because Dartford are now beating them. So for what could be a really good win for Chelmsford against Eastbourne, who are currently 18th place in the table, it's not turned out to be a helpful result because the rest of the teams are winning. In the National League, it's 2-0 half-time between Notts County and Wrexham there for both their games, respectively, between Torquay and Altrincham. Chesterfield are winning as well. Gateshead beating Solihull Moors. York losing to Southend United. I didn't actually notice that. Morris getting the goal there. Dagenham Redbridge now 2-0 up. Dorking are losing to Aldershot. Aldershot actually doing all right. Look at that. That's 3 wins in a row currently for them. Ifong now with that goal. And Yeovil won up against Maidstone as well. Alex Fisher with that goal there. Looking like it's still like a pretty dominant top 2, but Chesterfield can definitely grow back into it if they get enough consistency. Walsall with that late goal, or because the game's been a bit delayed. Hayden White with that goal there. I did mention Rochdale falling behind. Good result for Colchester, it means, because right now, they're only 1 point ahead of them now. So that would be a very helpful result for Colchester currently. Grimsby still leading Hartlepool. Not good for Hartlepool whatsoever. They've got a big chance, Hartlepool, as well, for the fact that Rochdale and Colchester are dropping points. But if they can't beat a newly promoted side at home, then Hartlepool are in big trouble for me. Carlisle, who scored the first goal this weekend, Christian Dennis scored that. Wimbledon ahead against Harrogate. Didn't notice that one. Kanayembai scores for Wimbledon to make it 1-0. 1-1 between Colchester and Stevenage. Marshall scores first, but then Danny Rose equalises. Mansfield 2, Swindon 2. Both Mansfield taking the lead twice, but John Williams equalising twice there. Sutton down to 10 men in the 3rd minute, so 87 minutes plus with 10 men now, and they've already paid the price with Carl Woolton getting the lead for Stockport, and that will be 3 wins in a row for Stockport as it stands. And Leyton Orient are 1-0 up against Salford, Paul Smythe with the goal. Yeah, Stockport will be up to 14th as it stands, which is a good achievement for them. For League 1 now, let's go through all of this. Still 0-0 in all of these games here. Wycombe 1-0 up against Morecambe, who look like they are looking like they're going to potentially go down. Joseph with the goal, McCleary with the assist. Oxford ahead against Bolton. Anderson with the goal. Now that's a big moment for Portsmouth potentially. potentially even for Derby, who are trying to close the gap on Bolton and 3 points behind with a game in hand. Portsmouth Shrewsbury 1-1 half time. Elliot Bennett taking an arguably shot lead, but Swanson managing to equalise 3 minutes later. Peterborough lead against Cambridge. Lloyd Jones with an own goal. A bit of a local game, I would say, between Cambridge and Peterborough. You can both go to Cambridge and Peterborough directly from Ipswich train station, actually. Fun fact for you there. Sheffield Wednesday and Burton, 2-0 up in that one. Barry Bannon and Michael Smith. Ipswich, 1-0 up against Charlton in the last minute of the first half. George Edmondson getting the only goal. Leif Davis with the assist. Barnsley 1-0 up against Forest Green. Devante Cole, Williams with the assist. And 6 goals at Pride Park. McGoldrick with 3 goals. Collins, Bobby Thomas and Anthony Evans on the penalty spot to make it 4-2. And finally the Championship. Coventry 1-0 up against Blackpool. Casey Palmer, who's starting up front today over Gyökeres, but Callum O'Hare with his first start gets an assist already to make it 1-0 to Coventry. Preston 1, Middlesbrough 1. Middlesbrough take an early lead in the Michael Carrick era with Chuba Akpom scoring, but Emrys Jackson scores not too long after that with some poor defending from a set piece. Huddersfield 1, Millwall 0. Nakayama getting the first goal with that game, making it 1-0 to Huddersfield. Millwall looking like that their winning streak's going to end. Blackburn take a 1-0 away lead currently against Hull. Both teams doing all right with their form at the moment. In fact, that would be 4 wins in a row for Blackburn if they can continue this. Smallest getting the goal and Wharton getting the assist. Hull will need to try and get back into this. Luton 1-0 up against Sunderland, if it will show me. I don't know what SofaScore's doing, but that is a goal just before half-time for Luton Town. Carlton Morris with the 47th minute goal, Doherty with the assist. 0-0 between Burnley Reading and Wigan Watford. And finally, Norwich 1, Stoke 0. Aaron Ramsey scores for Norwich. I never actually found out who scored for Norwich, but it's Aaron Ramsey. Let's look at the Championship table. Burnley, top. Blackburn, they will overtake Burnley as it stands if Burnley actually lose against Reading. QPR, can they fall further down the table currently? I don't think they can. I think QPR will stay third place. Sheffield United 4th, and currently Norwich won't be able to overtake them. Norwich will have to hope that they can stake with this lead to get 5th place. Swansea, but then Luton, look at that. With that current 3 points at the moment, they will be the team just outside top 6 and only 1 point behind Swansea. Millwall, for the fact that they're losing, they're falling out, but Millwall could go up to 5th place if they get a win against Huddersfield somehow, if they turn it around. Reading fall down to 9th currently. Watford drawing, they're not really improving. Birmingham with an astonishing win over QPR, find themselves in the top half of the table. Rotherham placing the highest out of all of the newly promoted teams so far with 23 points. Preston just below that with Bristol City, and Sunderland dropping down a little bit. That's currently 3 defeats in a row, and I was saying it was going to be 1 goal at least Chelsea would score. They've already scored 1 goal. So it's 3-1. I'm not going to celebrate it. It's Kai Havertz. Mendy on for Kepa. Oh my God. Oh my God. Twitter is going to be going crazy over that. Because the fan base won't shut up about the goalkeeper situation. Mendy on for Kepa. 3-1 now. Okay. Maybe there's a tiny, tiny sliver of hope. Matt, oh my God, I've been so in the moment just going through all of these games. I've just not been able to react. Hello from a happy CBS. I'm not surprised. How have you felt with Casey Palmer scoring? And first start for Callum O'Hare, Matt. First start for Callum O'Hare, already an assist. He's going to be hitting the ground running now. And I don't know if you've seen the table, but I'll show it off if you're still here. 16th. Look at that. Promotion push could be officially on now. But it's 20 points. And if you think about it, 3 points away from the top half of the table. So little by little, you're getting into the right steps moving forward. So right now, that could be a really, really good bit of momentum that Coventry will be promising at the moment. Happy with 11th. Mendy on. Trust the process, says Jack. Kettering 3-1 up. It's good to see someone said hi to Matt. Another goal at the Vitality. It's bad to worse for Spurs because Bournemouth are now 2-0 up. Kiefer Moore scores again for Bournemouth to make it 2-0. The only positive about Chelsea losing is that we can agree that Spurs are proving to be just as bad as well. That is huge. Newcastle are literally laughing at both of us right now because we're literally gift wrapping them third place at this moment of time. Matches Starting says Coniston, thank you for turning up, by the way. It's been absolutely amazing. Right, need to actually start updating these scores because there's so much that's been going on. Right, let's do the first couple here. So, Bournemouth now 2-0 up against Spurs. 3-1 now in the Brighton-Chelsea game. There's been no championship goals in the second half, though. So I've managed to catch up. 2 very early Premier League goals there. They're using the trusty treatment, trusty the process. I like that. If you guys have not liked the stream yet, guys, please do smash that like button. It really does help the growth of this channel when you do that. We're on 24 likes at the moment. So thank you guys so much for the support. Could we get to 30 likes? We're 6 likes away from 30 likes. So guys, if you've not smashed the like button, please do so. It really helps. If you've not hit the subscribe button either, please also do that as well. We're stuck on 1520 at the moment. So we're struggling a little bit to get some substantial growth. But I'm always appreciative of everyone who does turn up, support, comment, like, share, subscribe, all those things. It really... What on earth is that? People are hoovering. So, yeah, it's currently... thank you so much, guys, for the support. Gatsby, you don't like that noise, don't you? There he is, by the way, if you're wondering. He's got his back to you, but he is actually the closest I think he's ever been to the camera. Look at you. He's been with me, by the way, since 8:30 this morning. He's not moved an inch. Goal in League 2, by the way, which I'll update you guys now. So, it's an equalising goal for Harrogate against a Wimbledon. That's what it was. So, still 0-0 between Brentford and Harrogate. Brentford and Wolves, actually. So, yeah, 1-1. Matt Daly scores for Harrogate. That's a big point for Harrogate because, as you can see, they're just above the bottom 4 there. So really, right now, they really need all the points that they can get to avoid being dragged into the conversation of the relegation battle. A lot of these games are 1-0 at the moment, apart from Preston Middlesbrough. So, yeah, the Championship game's taken a little bit of a while to get going for me. Right. Honestly, in the next 10 or so minutes will determine if Chelsea have got what it takes to get back into this. It's 3-1 now. Yes, I do. Well, yeah, I know it was 3-1 there. Jack, thank you for the dono, by the way. It does make me a little bit better. It's still 3-1. Thank you, Jack. Honeyguns is saying hello to Gatsby. Yeah, I mean, he's literally... I don't think he's ever been this close, actually. So, yeah, he's been a little bit more friendlier today. At least... Yeah, thank you, Jack. I really do appreciate that. I really do. We're getting a little bit of a lull of goals now at the moment, so we'll just wait for it to potentially rise up again. I'll be intrigued to see if Chelsea get a second goal, then we might have a chance. Yeah, well, I know, Tom. I know I'm losing, but I can't be completely unprofessional about it. If we deserve to lose, we deserve to lose. That's all I can say. It sounded like that we were absolutely defensively atrocious in that first half. So ultimately, we deserve what we get. Am I angry? Yes, of course. But I can't be angry and be unreasonable about it. I'm checking Chelmsford again. By the looks of things, it's still 2-0. I'm just really hoping that potentially one of having a Waterlooville, Ebbsfleet or Dartford can drop points. And of course, none of them have. And in fact, having a Waterlooville have scored again. So they will definitely not lose there. my team, Solihull, are being playing like a bunch of prats. They are 1-0 down, Solihull, I think, if I remember right. There is a goal in League 2. Gatsby's moving away a tiny bit. Bradford have taken the lead against Crawley. Now, that's also a good result for Colchester as well, since Crawley are in or around our position in the table. It's Dion Pereira. So Crawley, 19th place, as you can see them right now. So I definitely think that bottom 6 right now are going to be in the conversation of getting relegated at the moment. I think Newport do have what it takes to potentially recover from this. So Crawley, as you see with that draw, they fall, or with this defeat currently, they fall down to 21st, which is not good for them there. Still no... Oh, we've got a goal at the CBS. So Matt was saying how happy he was with Coventry winning. Just like that, Blackpool have now equalised. Gary Medine makes it 1-1 and will make things very interesting to see if Coventry have what it takes to get all 3 points here. This draw would be quite good for Blackpool, actually, because it now puts them on 20 points and increases the gap a tiny bit. But Coventry, look at that. They fall from 16th all the way down to 22nd. Ultimately, a win for Coventry takes Coventry ahead of Blackpool by a long bit. But Blackpool will keep that gap ahead if they don't lose. Goal in the G-Tech Community Stadium, and it's gone in the way for Brentford. Oh, Spurs, don't get back into this now. I can't bear this. Right, so Brentford have scored. Ben Mee with the goal. Spurs have got 1 goal back. I can't bear it. If Spurs get a comeback but Chelsea don't, I'm going to be so pissed off with that. They've halved their deficit, and Spurs are much closer to getting that back. Ryan Sessegnon getting the consolation goal at the moment. Just like that with Mansfield and Swindon. Swindon have now taken the lead for the first time in this game. Luke Jeffcourt, who formerly played at Plymouth not too long ago, makes it 3-2. Carlisle now 2-0 up in their game against Tranmere. Rangers have increased their lead against Aberdeen. And a really good goal for Ipswich to take them a bit of a gap against Charlton. Tyrese John-Jules makes it 2-0 to Ipswich. That is a really good position for Ipswich to be in. A 39 points at this stage of the season in itself is already remarkably consistent. That one defeat there being against Lincoln City, which was the one game I turned up in. Incredible, really. I don't think I'm allowed back to see Ipswich play. Their next home game, I believe, is against Cheltenham. So I really think that's a bit too dangerous for me to enter. So, yeah, Ipswich now 2-0 up. And, yeah, really good news for them. It looks like they will currently go back top. Big equalising goal for Wolverhampton Wanderers. So they were behind for a little bit. Mbuma getting the assist for Ben Mee's goal. But Wolves immediately get back into this. Now, Wolves, if there's any time they need to win, it will be today. So they will be on 10 points currently. It's Ruben Neves with that goal. If they win this, Wolves will be up to 17th, I think. They're just showing Rangers and Aberdeen now. We already knew about that. I need to see a goal from Chelsea in the next 5 minutes to make me feel a little bit more comfortable with the situation they're in. No other goals in the Championship by the looks of things at the moment there. No goals between Derby and Bristol Rovers in the second half, which surprised me a little bit with the amount of goals we've seen. Jack, thank you so much for the dono. I really appreciate that. It's someone like having a hot chocolate or a tea, which honestly is what I need right now. There's been a couple of other League One goals that I've completely skipped over. Thank you guys for letting me know. Oxford 2, Bolton 0. Kieran Brown, former Cardiff player. Remember him from Cardiff. Now that will put Oxford back to 18th place and increases their gap a little bit from the bottom 4. Bolton looking like they will drop points, and that's a big 3 points for Derby if they can get against Bristol Rovers there. And yeah, another goal which goes in the way of Sheffield Wednesday. They're 3-0 up against Burton. Malik Wilkes, former Hull City striker, makes it 3-0 Sheffield Wednesday. And Sheffield Wednesday are not losing their grip of the top 2 just yet. But this win currently for Ipswich is big because it's a 5-point gap from Sheffield Wednesday, and we know how good they really can be. Nova goes there. Fleetwood are now 3-0 up. All of a sudden, Fleetwood have now got their goal scoring form sorted now. It was 0-0 in that game in the first half, but 3 second half goals. Carlos Mendes-Gomez, Sean Rooney, and Josh Earl. Preston, former player for Josh Earl. Carlos Mendes-Gomez used to play for Morecambe and Luton, and Sean Rooney makes it 3-0. Fleetwood up to 14th with 20 points. And Fleetwood were just above Accrington. So it goes to show what a win can do to you if you're in that position of the table. Bradford have conceded. Crawley are now back into this, which will be a big result for Crawley, trying to increase their gap from the bottom two, I should say. James Tilley with that goal to make it 1-1 to Crawley. Goal at Turf Moor. Big goal at Turf Moor. I can't find it. Reading have taken the lead against Burnley. I couldn't get my words out. Now, what that means, as I said, the only way that Blackburn will be top is if Blackburn win and Burnley lose. Look what's happened. Blackburn now top of the league. As Burnley are on their course to lose their first home game of the season, it is none other than Tom Ince with the goal. Wow. So from playing incredibly well against Norwich, if they follow this up with a defeat, I mean, that would be a big blow for Burnley there, because they could have had a really big chance to increase their lead from QPR. They would have increased their lead by 5 points had they picked up 3 points here. And currently, it's Reading who are snatching those 3 points from them there. And because of this, Reading have now overtaken Luton, and now they're the team closing in on Swansea City here. 2 League 2 goals to talk about. Stockport have increased their lead again. Paddy Madden with the second goal there. Not surprised with Sutton going down to 10 men so early on. But another goal, which is the first goal of their game, is Doncaster versus Gillingham. Doncaster taking the lead. Harrison Biggins with a goal. That puts Gillingham in a spot of bother, to be honest. 13 points, just above Colchester by 2 points. It would be even more if Colchester somehow lose their game against Stevenage at the moment. They're not losing at the moment. They're still holding out for a draw. But wow, I don't think I predicted Reading to score, which is very frustrating. So my prediction's wrong for that. In terms of my predictions, it's not looking good. Maybe apart from Coventry Blackpool, if Coventry score, that will be 3 points. Alice Griffin will be loving it. Can't wait for his vlog. Yeah, he will be loving it indeed. Ipswich will definitely be playing very well. 2-0 Fleetwood there. First goal for Wilkes there. Vincent Kompany's Burnley losing. Did you predict 1-0 Reading? You guys really do predict the unpredictable, which is why I cannot be at you guys' level. Really, I don't know what to say. I can't predict. They're talking about Reading's goal here. Need to update the scoreline. Gatsby, don't go, Gats. No, don't go. You're going. Well, I'm going to have to open the door for him in a minute. Hang on a minute. So, it's now 2-1. Brentford and both Wolves have scored. Anything else? Okay, so Reading have taken the lead there. Cardiff 0, Rotherham 0. Now 1-1 between Coventry and Blackpool. It's because I didn't give him a yogurt? Yeah, that's probably what it is. And there's no other goals to go on about. Right. 2 minutes, just making sure Gatsby can escape. Come on now, you're being so friendly. Do you want me to let you out there? You're very quiet. Do you want to go out there? You do. You do. You want to go out? There you go. Ugh. Really need a goal from Chelsea right about now, and they're not doing it. They're not scoring. There's been a couple of goals to catch up with, so no time for breaks. It is 2-0 Southend. I have seen it. Sean Hobson with that goal. just so I can show you guys. There it is. Yeah, York losing. So yeah, Gateshead are indeed beating Solihull Moors. Actually, it was Gateshead. I forgot who they were playing. Barrow 3-0 up against Crewe. I have seen it. Oh, right. So we've got a red card between Mansfield and Swindon. 5-goal thriller at the moment. Josh Gordon makes it 3-0. But yeah, the red card has gone away for Mansfield, who were losing for the first time in this game and have gone down to 10 men now. It's going bad to worse for Mansfield there, where Mansfield would have been third place had they got something there. But it is Swindon who will stay within the top 7 if they win. Nothing else to report for the Championship. My heart stops if they go through to Bournemouth and Spurs. The only thing that'll make Chelsea losing to Brighton a little bit better is if Spurs lose as well. So Newcastle 2, Aston Villa 0. I don't know who scored for Newcastle, but Newcastle will definitely be third place in the table now. Definitely third place in the table. 3-point gap from Chelsea as well, which is not great. Who scored? It won't tell me who scored. Callum Wilson. So it's Callum Wilson's second goal. 2-0 Newcastle, and it's going to be very tricky for Aston Villa to get back into this. Unai Emery's first start as Aston Villa boss is ending up in a defeat at the moment, and it looks like he's got a lot to try and fix. We've got about half an hour plus stoppage time left for most of these games. Goal. We've got a goal here. So this is a new goal. Cardiff 1-0 up now against Rotherham United. Don't know who scored it, but we'll be waiting very, very soon. I don't know what they were just talking about with Brentford Bulls. Goal for Cardiff. So that really helps Cardiff, actually, because it puts them on 22 points. That could mean Stoke could fall down in the bottom 3 if Coventry get a win. My God. That would be big. Middlesbrough aren't far away from it either. It's Philogene Bidace who scores for Cardiff. It's just popped up on Soccer Saturday, and there it is. So, yeah, that puts Cardiff all the way up to 15th place. I think they're VARing Newcastle's second goal to see if it's going to stick. I think I predicted 1-1 between Cardiff and Rotherham. So a goal for Rotherham would do me nicely for my predictions. I think I also predicted 1-1 between Norwich and Stoke. So there's a couple of games that are quite close to my prediction, but they just don't have that feeling that it's going to happen. Nervy times for Ipswich. They've conceded 1 goal against Charlton. They've closed the gap, which I have questioned Ipswich's capability of keeping on to Leeds. And now it's going to be tested as Jeswin Rakasakri makes it 2-1. And there's over 27 minutes left of the game to be played, including stoppage time. Look at that. They've just allowed Charlton to have that spell there. And they scored from this. It could be very, very scary times. Goal. Third goal at Deepdale. And it's Preston who score against Middlesbrough. I did not expect this from both Middlesbrough and West Brom. New manager, expected a bit of a bounce. Both appointments looking to have backfired at the moment. I'm just waiting for the goal to get confirmed. Oh, they've been saved by the offside flag. Oh, have they? Right, okay, so no goals there, but oh my gosh, it looks like Middlesbrough got away with one there. Thanks, James, for the update. Third goal, St James's Park, and it's 3-0 to Newcastle there. I've just got to, I feel like rival fans have got to accept that Newcastle aren't going to be up there with us now this season. But at this moment, I am not liking how the performances are going. The only thing that makes us losing to Brighton a bit bearable is the fact that that Spurs are also losing against Bournemouth. I don't know which one would be considered worse, losing to Brighton or Bournemouth, but both are pretty bad, I'll tell you that. Yeah, 3-0 Newcastle there. Seb's still supporting Brighton. Why are you supporting Brighton? It's not even going to be 5-0 to Brighton like you predicted. Yeah, they're talking about Cardiff's goal there. National League, not looked at that for a bit of a while. All the shots increase their lead against Dorking. I've already talked about all of these. Yeah, I've pretty much caught up with all of National League. Oh, Woking 1-0 against Eastleigh. I didn't see that. They're VARing Joelinton's the third goal that Joelinton scored against Aston Villa. Maybe disallowed. But Woking have scored. I don't know who scored it. Harrogate take a 2-1 lead now against Wimbledon. That'll be crucial for them to get out of trouble from the bottom two. Harrogate, I can't find it. There. So, yeah, 2-1 up. McArdle gets the goal. And that will put them, yeah, look at that, 19th place. It really does help Harrogate quite a lot, this, actually. But I think it has stayed 3-0 to Newcastle. But one thing that's definitely stood out to me is this. Burnley have now equalised. Don't know who scored, but it looks like Burnley might just be able to get back into this. In fact, did I predict a very one-sided game against... Did I say 2-1 Burnley? I can't. I honestly now I can't even actually remember what I predicted. I need to remind myself. Yeah. Oh, for God's sake! I gave Burnley way too much faith. I said 3-0 Burnley. Bloody hell! I nearly swore there. Okay. Don't know who's got to equalise that. Oh, now I do. Manuel Benson, who must have come off on the bench as well. In fact, he did. On for Goodmanson as well. Good response for Burnley there to get back into this 10 minutes later. Should have Sanchez in FPL. What a game he's having. Oh, it's going to be also predictable, isn't it? He's going to turn out like Manuel Neuer, isn't he? Sanchez was linked to Man United for quite some points, and that was laughed at by Man United fans. Oh, apparently Charlton manager Ben Garner has been sent off, so he's not been happy about something. Wrexham are now 3-0 up against Altrincham there, so they're looking very comfortable now for the 3 points. Altrincham. There they are. Anything else to kind of report on? No, we're completely up to date there. We're not, because Norwich have now got a 2-0 lead against Stoke. Now that makes things very scary for Stoke here. Puts them on 19 points. Coventry, if they can somehow get a win, they will put Stoke in the bottom 3. Wow. So yeah, Coventry, if they win, they'll be on 20 points, and yes, they will be right around. Yeah, I mean the highest they could be is 16th place. But my God, imagine Stoke in the bottom 3. And appointing a new manager as well. It does look like that. It just really looks like that they've got no hope. Norwich and both Sheffield United struggling, and now looking like that they've both recovered with their form now. Norwich now 2-0 up against Stoke. It's a second goal for Aaron Ramsey. Oh, for crying out loud! Spurs have now equalised. So it's Ben Davies with Perisic. And what minute are we in? 65th minute. And the problem is, Spurs have actually got plenty of time to get something as well. Like, they can even get 3 points from this position. I can't believe this. I want to rage quit, to be honest. It's not even a game, but I want to rage quit this stream. I'm not pleased at all. That's made it even more painful for me. The fact that Spurs have been able to dig deep, fight as a team and get back into for a 2-goal deficit. And Chelsea have just not proven to do anywhere near enough. Let me update some things. So Newcastle now 3-0 up. It's now an equalising goal for Burnley. Cardiff have now scored against Rotherham. And now it's 2-0 Norwich. And I think that's it. Yeah, still 0-0 between Wigan and Watford. That's the only game I believe that's still 0-0. I don't know if Tom is mimicking me or he's talking about Solihull Moors. Well, it's still 1-0, so I'm assuming he's just mimicking me. Swindon are now 4-2 up against Mansfield. Do you know what would even be more disappointing is if somehow Colchester and Ipswich and Chelmsford find a way to lose as well. That would be 4 stabs to the heart. It really would. Bolton have got a goal back into it by the looks of things against Oxford. Although it has been cancelled out. I think it is 2-1, but just waiting to see who scored for Bolton. Yeah, so we're talking about the Norwich goal here. Still 1-1. No correct scores so far either, for what I'm recalled. Dion Charles is the one who scores for Bolton to make it 2-1. They could have a chance, Bolton, to get back into this. Stockport are going to win very comfortably. I mean, the game has been in their favour since the 3rd minute. They're now 3-0 up. Will Collar scores to make it 3-0 Stockport. No other goals there. Port Vale have scored against Lincoln. That's how you beat Lincoln, Ipswich. Port Vale have proven to do it, which Port Vale, to be fair, gave Ipswich quite a scare in their last game. Daniel Butterworth scores for Port Vale. What does that do for the table? Well, it puts Port Vale right in a mid-table position, just below Shrewsbury. It's looking very close in that mid-table area, actually. So, literally wouldn't rule anyone off, to be honest. Of course, the one game that's still 0-0 in the top 2 leagues is managed by, is commentated by Anna McAnally. It just makes sense. I'm trying to pick myself up, but it's really hard, you know. Especially when you see that scoreline. And especially when you see a team do that to a team that I can only dream that Chelsea are capable of doing. It's 4-0 to Newcastle. Unai Emery is having a horrific return to the Premier League at this moment of time. I don't know who scored for Newcastle, but it is looking very comfortable for them. Chesterfield are now 2-0 up against Bournemouth. Miguel Almiron makes it 4-0. And before I switch back to my original scene, another team that's 4-0 up is Sheffield Wednesday. They are demolishing Burton right now by 4-0. It is Daniel Bashiru who has been a pretty heroic player for Sheffield Wednesday. It's certain that Sheffield Wednesday will pick up 3 points. They'll be looking to see if Ipswich will drop points, which right now could be quite realistic, although we have made a triple substitution there. So we'll see how that goes. And I think substitutions on the whole for McKenna, I don't want to jinx it, have been pretty good. Well, this makes me feel a bit better. 4-0 up, Chelsea find themselves against Eastbourne. A great response. Lodokia, Ruff, Olulu and Jackson. Looks like Brighton had a big chance again. It's difficult for me to react to this. Right, having a Waterlooville 3-1 up. Oh, big goal. Hartlepool have equalised against Grimsby. I think I saw Jeff react to it as well. That's a huge goal, actually. Alex Lacey makes it 1-1. That will put Hartlepool on 10 points. They really would prefer 3, to be honest, because that will then put them on 12, and that will be the same amount of points as Rochdale, and it will move Colchester to the bottom of the league. Burton have got a consolation goal against Sheffield Wednesday, 4-1 now. Sam Winnell makes it 4-1. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he's a former Sheffield Wednesday player, actually. So I think he scores against his former club there, Sam Winnell there. Norwich looking like they're taking all 3 points back to Norfolk. 3-0 up. They now find themselves here. What a scoreline for them, really. It's Gabriel Sara who makes it 3-0 to Norwich. Game over, and Stoke. This is another poor performance from them. That'll be 3 defeats in a row. Something's very mentally wrong with this Stoke City side. And Coventry have got a really big chance now to get out of the bottom 3 if they can somehow get a win. They're literally 1 win away for the cusp of greatness, but they're not quite getting it. Bars reviewing at Newcastle. I think they've given it at this point. Right, let's go back to the scene and react to all of this. So, let's go to scores, if I can, if it'll let me. So, this really breaks me, but it's now 2-2 between Bournemouth and Spurs. Still 3-1, 4-0 now to Newcastle. Any other changes? I mean, Norwich would have scored another, and that's the only change. Oh, really got a headache. Jeez. Oh my goodness me, what's going on today? I cannot stand. Oh, I hate football. I really hate football sometimes. Right, so Charlton have now got an equaliser now against Ipswich. Since Ben Garner's been sent off from the stands, Charlton have played like a different team. Albie Morgan scores to make it 2-2. And that will be celebrations for Sheffield Wednesday, because then they'll restore that 3-point gap to Ipswich. Plymouth will now return to the top of the league as well. Oxford now 3-1 up. Yeah, United will go 5th if they win. Right, a score prediction that might happen. I'm just double checking what I've predicted for the Championship because I've had them saved somewhere. I said Luton 1, Sunderland 1, and what's happened at the the Kenilworth Road Stadium? Sunderland have indeed equalised. Oh my god, and a third goal at a CBS, but it's not what I predicted. Luton 1, Sunderland 1. So Embleton scores to make it 1-1. Jack Clark with the assist. That could be 3 points for the predictions. But this, though, that is 2-1 to Blackpool. Jerry Yates makes it 2-1, who's right on form. He's been on form throughout this whole season. And Coventry looking like that they could get out of the bottom 3. Now looking like they're going backwards again. A bit of relief, I would say, for Stoke, who could have fallen down into the bottom 3, to be honest, following that. So a loss for Coventry sticks them on at 17 points. And that win currently for Huddersfield is looking like a really, really important one now, because they're only 3 points off Stoke City now. Cool, it's looking pretty unpredictable, I've got to say. I thought Huddersfield would be cut off quite a bit, but just somehow things happen, and now they look like that they're back into this. Well, Matt, after being very happy, he goes and speaks to me, and suddenly now his team are in the bad. I'll tell you which team is not in the bad. Hartlepool, because now they've completely turned it around against Grimsby. They're 2-1 up. Lyle Meyer with an own goal. But I'm waiting for the bad moment that's going to happen because of this. Jeff's doing this. He's celebrating. And it means this. Colchester are now bottom of League 2. So I said it couldn't get any worse. Chelsea are losing, and they will lose. Ipswich are now no longer winning, and look like that they may lose. Colchester are now bottom of the table, despite not losing in their game. The only positive is that Chelmsford are winning. But that's been clouded with the fact that Ebbsfleet... Oh, Ebbsfleet are drawing. Okay, we can close the gap on Ebbsfleet here. Very narrowly, but we can close the gap on them. Okay, well, I'd say close the gap. They are 7 points ahead with a game in hand, so maybe not. But it's a small close. but Dartford are winning and Havant and Waterloo are winning. So it's not perfect for Chelmsford's point of view, but it could be good news to trying to close the gap on Ebbsfleet. Burton have scored a second consolation to make it 4-2. If I can select on the right tab, that'd be great. So that's 2 lots of 4-2s there against Sheffield Wednesday and Burton, and also Derby and Bristol Rovers. Lee Gregory misses a penalty from the woodwork, and Heyman makes it 4-2. Maybe not over yet, but I'd say with 8 minutes left, it's going to be very difficult for Burton to get something out of this. Equalising goal for Millwall. Now that's bad, but have they been saved by offside? Have they been saved by maybe offside? Yeah, they're talking about the Blackpool goal now, but I was thinking if Millwall may have got one, but it looks like it may have been an offside. So Huddersfield may have got away with one there. Still with 4 wins on their belt. Another one you credit predicting, says Tom. Late equaliser for Coventry, please. Would be nice to get some 3 points. I think you got Huddersfield 1 right. Not a great time to play Hartlepool now, says Tom. Right, what was I going to say? Seb's asked for how many subs. We are on 1,520. We've just not been good enough. I'm just hearing more commentary on Chelsea. We're going to lose. 1,520 subs. So thank you guys so much for supporting the channel again. We've not really changed with today. We've gained 1 sub, but thank you to whoever did subscribe today. It really does help. Let's update some scores if we need to. I don't know if we've actually... Wrexham are 4-0 up against Altrincham, by the way. James Jones makes it 4-0. Blackpool now ahead. Luton 1, Sunderland 1. And that is it. That's all the games. I've got a lot of these games wrong. I've got to be honest. A lot of them are wrong. What can save me is if... oh my god, I'm literally having less than 5 points as it stands. Rotherham, if they equalise, could save my prediction a bit. So we've got roughly, 10 minutes left plus stoppage time left. It is an equalising goal for Solihull Moors against Gateshead. That has been confirmed. It's Alex Grudger with the goal. Barnsley have got a second goal against Forest Green. 2-0 now in that game. Josh Martin makes it 2-0, which puts Barnsley just outside of the top 6. In fact, really makes them even closer now because they've now edged Derby's goal difference just ever so slightly. Big goal between Wigan and Watford. We have finally got a breakthrough, and it is in the hands of Watford. I mean, I predicted 3-1, so I'm not quite going to be right. But it's going to be 1 point salvaged in my prediction league at the moment, as Watford look like that they may have snatched all 3 points. We need to wait and see to see if Wigan can get a response, and I need to see who has scored as well. Finally, Anna McInerney has got a goal to talk about. A Rotherham goal here would be really nice for my predictions leagues right now, but yeah, it's not looking like it's going to happen, unfortunately, on my part. Burnley getting 1 goal might help. I can't bear to look at the Prem, to be honest. It's depressing seeing 3-1 Brighton there. It's João Pedro who scores for Watford, by the way. And that 3 points for Watford makes them go back to 7th place. So really restores Watford's chances of going back into that top 6 place. They keep going back to Sue Smith, so it must be a good game between Brentford and Wolves. Anything else happening there? I don't think we've had any more goals. Oh, we had it. Well, he had that equaliser goal. I forgot to talk about it. Adam Mayer scores for Morecambe, which puts Morecambe off the bottom of the table. A win they would really prefer, to be honest, because it'll put them at 14 points and it'll close the gap on Accrington by 2, actually. So yeah, they'll definitely want 3 points there. And yeah, we've caught up with all of these ones as well for League 2. I mean, look at that. 5-2. Just caught that. So yeah, it was John Williams scoring 2, then Luke Jeffcott, then Ronan Darcy, and then Ben Gladwin. What a turnaround that's turned out to be. Still 2-1 Hartlepool. This would be a huge 3 points for Keith Curle's side if they can hold on to this 3 points here. Notts County are staying top of the National League as they've now got a 3rd goal there. 3-0 up against bottom of the league Torquay United. Dangan Redbridge 3-0 now. We've talked about the equaliser there. We talked about Chesterfield briefly going 2-0 up against Bourne Wood. It is looking like that it's really going to be a 3-horse race. I mean, maybe Chesterfield may be a bit far behind, but oh my God, if Spurs somehow win this, I'm not going to hear the end of it. Oh my God, I vom at the thought that Bournemouth could throw this all away for me. Let's go back to this. Oxford have pretty much won this 3-1. I think I mentioned Oxford going 3-1 up. A Brighton fan do 3-1. Oh, come on, Vic. Yeah, have your fun today, but you won't win 3-1 again this season because you don't score goals. I don't think... Yeah, there's not been another goal in the Premier League or... I quit. I officially quit! Oh my God. I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. You can sign off, guys. I heard a goal. It's going to be 4-1, isn't it? Oh my God. Well, the stunned silence gives it just... It speaks volumes. It gives you enough. I'm now waiting for Charlton to win 3-2 now. And I'm waiting for Stevenage to turn back. Oh my God. 4-1. I thought I wasn't going to have to change this score again. Did I not say 4-1 at full time in this game as well? So not only am I changing 3-2 to Spurs, but I'm adding an extra goal for Brighton. Well, there's no excuses. If you are played off the park like we were, then we ultimately deserve what we get. Can I stream Man United and West Ham? I don't think I want to be honest. I think I'm going to need a bit. And there's no alcohol in that house either. There's nothing to drown my sorrows either. Just sad. Just sad. There's a goal between Norwich and Stoke. Stoke have got 1 goal back, but it's not going to be enough for them. Nick Powell scores in the 92nd minute. It's still very, very poor for Stoke. I mean, look at that. Look at Wigan. They're falling down the table quite a bit. So they've got to be quite careful because that's 4 defeats in a row. Pretty much since Liam Richardson has signed his new contract, they've not picked up a single point. Have they even scored a goal since Richardson signed his contract? Big goal at Deepdale. Oh my God. So We were saying that Middlesbrough were lucky not to be 2-1 down. But what has happened now? Late on, Preston managed to get 3 points. Jordan Story, the centre-half, makes it 2-1 Preston. It's a poor start for Corberan and Michael Carrick. Look at that. West Brom, last place. Middlesbrough, 21st place. Honestly, had Coventry won today, they would have been in the bottom 3. Huddersfield are only 2 points behind Middlesbrough as well. Things are looking very, very bad for Middlesbrough and especially West Brom. Preston, if they win, they go back to the top half of the table. Is it all over the Yamix? Thank goodness. But I'm staying off Twitter. I'm not even going to bother tonight. I'm not going on Twitter now. It's full time 4-1. Oh, get off the screen. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Get it off the screen. Get off the screen. Can't bear to see Pascal Gross and De Zerbi manage like crazy. Trossard, go away. Toss off Trossard. I can't bear this. Get it off the screen. Honestly, you're milking it at this point. Honestly, be quiet. Get away. Oh, and get that away as well. I don't want to see Spurs celebrate. Oh my God. Get it away. I am so depressed at that. Now Spurs has made up huge ground over Chelsea there. Because obviously Spurs managed to beat Brighton at the Amex. Right, just got to update some scores. I believe I've got to update some scores. Maybe not. Did I update? Oh, I've not updated Stoke. Oh, I need to update Preston as well. Oh my God! Okay, Ipswich have won. Ipswich have actually won a game. Right, they've actually late once again. It's a 3-2 away victory, and it's another late goal as well. Freddie Ladapo, which people at my office are starting to take liking to him again. He's now scored a very crucial goal for Ipswich that restores Ipswich going top of League One. That might be a bit. That really could be a big result for Ipswich Town there. Crystal Palace 1, Southampton 0 is full time. That's over. In fact, most of the Premier League games are over. Brentford, Wolves, and Newcastle and Villa are the only 2 games still playing. For the Championship, have you got any full times? Norwich 3, Stoke 1's full time. Coventry 1, Blackpool 2, and defeat for Coventry. But what a win that is for Blackpool, who find themselves back 15th place in the table. 1-0 Cardiff full time there, so that's 3 points missed out since Rotherham couldn't score. Huddersfield 1, Millwall 0. That'll be a huge win for Huddersfield if they can keep it. 2-1 Preston there still. 1-1 Morecambe and Morecambe Wickham, sorry, that's full time. Fleetwood 3, Eccleston 0, Cheltenham 0, MK Dons 0 full time as well. Hartlepool have 1, that's full time. And it's also full time for 1-1, so that's not a bad point for Colchester here. But despite that, because they've not won, they have now finding themselves bottom of the Football League. They do have a game in hand over Hartlepool, but they need to not lose that game. The only positive is that a win for Colchester can lift them all the way back up to 20th place, because it's really tight in that end of the table. Right, a couple of late goals. One for the Championship, and Burnley are just refusing to get laid down, because Burnley have managed to turn it around. Anas Zaharai scoring to make it 2-1 to Burnley. And eventually, Ipswich have now got the comfort that they need. It's now 4-2 to Ipswich. Sam Morsey scoring a goal. I mean, I've only seen Ipswich score 2 goals in my 4 times I've seen them. And they've already scored twice as many times as I've seen them in this one game here. I really am the bad luck charm for Ipswich. But it's 2-1 Burnley. And for any of these other games, please stay 1-1 full time here. At this moment of time, points-wise, it's been absolutely atrocious. Absolutely atrocious in terms of points. Watford have indeed beaten Wigan by 1-0. That's now full time. Let's go back to Catcher. Jack, thanks for the donation. I really do appreciate it. I really, really do. Late goal, yes, I saw that. I'm assuming they're talking about Burnley's late goal. Maidstone have got a late equaliser against Yeovil with Regan Booty with a penalty. Am I going to stream Arsenal, Forest or Liverpool Leeds? I don't know, honestly. I'm just really tired all the time at this point, and I've not found any time to do revision, so I can't give a straight answer, unfortunately. What I will do is that I'll try and get the review video sorted early hours of the morning. Right, 1-1 full time. That's 3 points. But I think that's the only 3 points I'm going to get. It's been an awful day. Apart from Chelmsford and Ipswich, to be fair, they've turned it around. But apart from that, Colchester and Chelsea absolutely have let me down big time. It's ended 5-0 to Chelmsford, by the way. So very satisfying. Oh my God, Charlton, stop playing with my emotions. It's now 4-3. My God. Right. Chelmsford 5, Eastbourne 0. How much added time is there in Ipswich games? I've not seen a single Ipswich game play more than 6 minutes of added time. How much added time have they got this time? 6 minutes. And they've scored in the 96th minute. Can they blow the full-time whistle right now? Honestly. I really do. I've never seen an Ipswich game, if it's stoppage time, in first half and second half, be less than 5 minutes. I don't get it. I don't get why they give Ipswich and in every single home or away game so much stoppage time. I don't get it. Jack's rooting for Charlton just to compile on my misery. Thanks for that. Solihull bottled the league because they couldn't beat Gateshead by the looks of things there. I'm going to wait for Charlton, that game to go full time, and then I'll end the stream because honestly, right now I've lost it. I don't know how to feel, to be honest. And I've got a sore throat, and I've got a blooming headache. Not in a great mood. My voice is going all over the place as well. Right, so let's review all of this. Brentford 1, Wolves 1. That's still playing somehow because there's 7 minutes of added time. Newcastle 4, Aston Villa 0. I mean, that's a comfortable win for Newcastle there. Bournemouth 2, Spurs 3. Get out of the way. Brighton 4, Chelsea 1. Get that well away. In fact, I'm closing that tab. It's ended 4-0. That's all we need to know. 1-0 Huddersfield. Looks like it's going to stay that way as it stands. Blackburn 1-0 up against Hull there still. 2-1 Reading. 2-1 Burnley against Reading, sorry. And all these 3 games holding on by 1 goal. I cannot be asked. Alright, guys. Ending the stream. Right now. Right now. I cannot be bothered. I really cannot be bothered. 4-4 between Charlton and Ipswich with George Dobson in the 9th minute. 6 minutes of added time. Oh my God. Right, I'm ending it here. Right. If you guys enjoyed what you saw, please give the video a like. It does tremendously help the channel. If you've not hit the subscribe button, please do so. It does really help. And please also share the channel too. That helps too. What a crap day it's been. It really has. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys are legendary. If you saw the end of the stream, as always, I'll see you guys soon.